Okay, I'm here to do a video. It's been a couple weeks. Lots happened in the world, and lots happened in my world because we have done a lot of stuff around the house. But we won't talk about that. We're going to talk about, first we're going to talk about the world and the situation that it's in right now. A tragic situation, which I'm losing sleep over, just concerned, and of course I'm sure a lot of people are. I don't know, I mean, I'm going to do some readings about it. I'm going to do 3 readings with the Marseille. I'm going to do a Marseille with the just the majors. I'm going to do one on Putin, one on Zelensky, is that his name? Zelensky, and one on Biden. And I'm also going to be using this deck, the Marseille Majors. Now, so I've been online looking at stuff, reading a lot of articles, and everyone has their opinion, everyone has a lot to say. I went online. A friend of mine suggested going on to Etsy and seeing what's out there for artists that are living there, that are doing work, you can get downloads for free, not for free, for a cost, but it's supporting them and supporting them where they're still remaining in the country. So I found this woman. Her name is Julia Kuznahova. I'm going to put a link to her website. A young family, married to a young family, and she sells her artwork, $5 a download, which is very reasonable. And here's one of the pictures that I got from her. So I will put a link for her art. It's a charming picture. And after I did this picture, I started thinking about doing a picture of my own. And now, I don't know if a lot of you know, but I have a book out, and it's also something I started painting when I started my painting journey, which was only when I retired. I mean, I didn't paint before that. And I paint cats. And my husband, my son, I don't know how to paint. I told him, I really don't know how to draw, and I don't know how to do any of that stuff, so I'm not sure what I could even paint. But he goes, you should paint cats, because they're like snowmen, only they have points. They're 2 circles with points on their ears. So that got me started painting cats. And I've done a lot of cats, kind of whimsical cats, sort of like Laurel Birch. And I've sold a lot of stuff. And I also have a book on cats. So people that see my cats, they say, oh, they make me happy seeing these cats, because they're whimsical. They're cute, and a lot of curly Q, a lot of dots and curly Qs. And I know that when I paint cats, it makes me happy. So I thought, I was listening to a lot of the news, and it's getting. I mean, what can you do? I don't know. You send money, of course, but and when I saw this lady's art here, I thought, I'm going to do a cat picture, because it makes me happy, at least it gives me something to do. And so I was quite inspired by that painting. And so I did my own. I just finished it this morning. And it's cats. It's cats. There you go. So I just did it this morning, and it was a lot of fun to do. Of course, it's reminiscent of the flag for the Ukraine. The situation, I just want to say briefly, is, society can break down. Society is held by a gossamer string, and societies can break down so easily. And I learned that, not personally, but I learned that from Katrina. When Katrina happened, it was a weather incident, but within 2 weeks, it was us and them, and it was no food, no clothing, no shelter, no heat, no cooling. I mean, it can break down very quickly. Of course, war is another time it can break down very quickly. And I mean, how is this going to end? You like to listen to people that say it's, he's, Zelensky is going to, they're going to overcome. I think they will, because, it's hard to, invade a country. And I mean, times that if people have invaded countries, usually it doesn't fare well for them, because, people stay around and they fight for their land and their homes and their families and everything and their history. So, but it isn't necessarily pretty, as we noticed from World War I, World War II, and now this terrible tragedy. When there's been other tragedies in Syria and Lebanon and all those places over the years. I did do a reading on Putin, but I didn't put it up because I didn't like the reading. If I don't like a reading, I'm like, I don't want to tell people this. I mean, it was just a reading. It's a tarot reading. But in the community, the death card was in there, and I said, I don't want to. This was a couple weeks ago when things were, it was gonna be okay, but it's not okay. Putin is doubling down completely, and he doesn't accept rejection or failure very well, obviously. And people are dying senselessly. What a beautiful country it is as well. If you look around at their art and their churches. Anyway, so I think to stay in the mode of the current situation, I'm going to read from this deck. I'm just going to pull 3 cards each. I'm going to first do Biden, and then Zelensky, and then Putin. He's a keeper. It's present, past, and future. And I'll show you the cards. I don't think I can go down on these cards, can I? I don't think I'm going to. I'll just. So we'll shuffle and break them, and then this is for Biden. Well, okay, for Biden, he has the Marseille. He is the Fool. The Fool is can be many things, and I also see it as beginning energy, a starting new, a spirit that is starting on a new journey. It also has sort of reckless feelings to it, but in his case, he is not a reckless man. He is a very thoughtful man. So I would say that he's on a journey himself that is very challenging, but he's up for it. He's chosen this. He's chosen this moment in history. That's what I think, and that's what I believe. And he is looking towards the future, and his bag is packed, and he's ready to go. His pants are ripped. That's the Fool in the Marseille. The past was the Justice card, and it's moderation, considering your options, choosing wisely, choosing your head, weighing the consequences, and being decisive. And that's, I think he's been shown that. He's showing that in his current job as president of the United States. And I thank God for him. I'm a Bernie supporter. I'm a progressive. And but I've liked Biden and how he's been doing the job, and he's been showing a lot of this. And I think it's because of his experience. He's been in government since he was late 20s, early 30s, and he's almost 80. It's 50 years of experience, and he's worked across the aisle, and he's worked with people, internationally, and he's been he's learned so much about every aspect of government that he's the perfect guy, cool and even tempered, and he's surrounding himself too with progressives, which I like. So that's just me. So in the future, now this is not the future of the rest of the world, or the rest of this terrible thing that's happening, but I would say it's this future in the next couple weeks. And he pulls the Chariot. Chariot is marching forward. It's taking a stand and going forward, going ahead quickly, and the wind is at his back. So he is going to make some moves that's going to move this whole thing forward. So this is a good reading. I think it's a good reading for Mr. Biden. Well, I like the reading. I'm not sure if it's good reading. I like the reading. So let's go for Zelensky next. This is for entertainment purposes only, but it is sort of uncanny, I have to say. Christopher's like shaking his head like, I'm not sure why. He's having an interior monologue with himself that he's not sharing with myself or with my crew, my tribe. Okay, Zelensky. Come a long way. He stood up to Trump. He said, I'm not going to say that Hunter Biden is under investigation. Well, Trump said, you don't have to actually have him under investigation. You just have to say you have him under investigation. He goes, I don't want to say that because that's not true. Where do they find these people? Trump, Putin? Which reminds me, I think, about Trump and Putin. They're very much the same. They're narcissists. They have no regrets. They have no feelings for other people. They just love power and themselves. So this is Zelensky. Let's go. Past, present, and future. Wow, this is interesting. In the past, he has the Sun card. So, I mean, the Sun card, right now, I don't know if he's, I'm not sure how far back this is going, but he has the Sun card. Sun card is shedding light on things. It's a very good card to have. It's positive, it's full of light, it's enlightenment, it's achieving a certain thing that you wanted. So it's a beautiful card. Now in his case, this is in the past. This could be him before this happened. You know, the war only. I mean, the thing happened 2 weeks ago. I mean, it seems like it's been months, but he was in many ways the golden boy, and not because of his pretty looks or anything. It's because of his strong sense of right and wrong, I believe. And he's brought the country together, which is a wonderful thing. It's just that, all I gotta say, he's not the problem, according to this reading. Okay, so this is his recent past. Current situation is the Star card. You know, it's wishes. You're having wishes. You're wishing upon a star. It is a wishes and dreams kind of thing. It's a spiritual card. So he has a lot going for him, but it's not there yet. But this is a wonderful card to have in the present. So I would see that he is really hoping for the best. He's doing the best he can. I mean, he's amazing he's a politician, but he wasn't always a politician. He was a comedian. He was an actor. And yet he knows, what to do for his country. He knows him to contact NATO. He knows he wants to sign up for NATO. He wants to put pressure on Macron and put pressure on Biden and put pressure on Putin the best he can. He's really walking a fine line, a tightrope, but there is also wind at his back, and it's a spiritual. He's on the side of spirit and the stars and that energy. Maybe it's astrological. I don't know. It could be astrological. I don't know astrology very well. Now the outcome is the High Priestess. High Priestess is the queen, the person of hidden knowledge and intuition. And so he may be going into a phase of self-reflection or of proceeding with his gut or learning. In this card, the Popess, the High Priestess, is reading a book. So he may be looking for, he doesn't have a plan yet, but he's trying to find that plan, something that's hidden knowledge. And it's something that will be given to him through intuition, through study as well. I always see the High Priestess as kind of a loner. I don't see her like the Emperor or the Empress. I see her as maybe going into himself and coming up with new resolve and following his North Star. So these are, again, good cards to have. A state of flux for both of them, but good cards. And now, last but not least, let's consider our dear friend, Mr. Putin. He's got to go. He's been around too long. He's at 22 years. I feel so sorry for this. I mean, the soldiers that don't even know why they were there, apparently. And now they're just, what a mess. Mr. Putin, past, present, and future. Oh boy. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Well, the first card we get in the past is the Tower card. Now, this is in the past, so it's not the future, unfortunately. But, you know, it's tarot. Maybe tarot was a little confused this evening, or this morning. But, of course, this is a dramatic change brought on by outside circumstances. And it also leads to a renewal, you know, almost like the Death card, only it's stronger than the Death card. And this is very appropriate for his reading. Now, this is current past. Maybe things are breaking down. Things are breaking down in Russia. He's still, I didn't listen to the news today. I've been listening to it every day, but I didn't listen to it today. I will soon. So this, I mean, if it's recent past, maybe it's happening behind the scenes we're unaware of. And that certainly could be the case. Because he keeps a very tight ship. I mean, there's no press to speak of, free press anyways. But it was very telling when you saw him at the conference table. I mean, Trump filled the table with all his, you know, with the cabinet, and they all said, let's go around the table and talk about me. And they all said wonderful things about him. It was so weird. Now with Putin, there's a table, it must be, I don't know, 20 feet, 30 feet long, and he's at one end, all the rest are at the other end. There's something going on there, and he knows it. It's not good. So the next card is Judgment. So, I mean, that's his present is Judgment. So he has some tough decisions ahead, and he is being judged internationally and probably in his own country. And he has to judge other people, who's on his side, who's not, and I think there's fewer and fewer people as the oligarchs, you know, leave and cash out as much as they can cash out. So there's a Judgment card. So this is also towards it. This kind of signals an ending of some kind. Don't know what it is. And it's interesting you have the flag there. That's a Swiss flag, isn't it? Is that the Swiss flag? It's that.
Red cross.
Yeah. So maybe, and it's also a white flag. Maybe he's going to make some changes that aren't going to be so, you know, stop the fighting. I mean, this is really not good. And lastly, in the future, he has the Lover's card. And that's interesting. Now, Lover's card is about choice, and it's about making a coalition. It's about bringing people together. So this is interesting. And maybe in the future, he's going to, not so distant future, he's going to come up with a plan so he doesn't lose face and the bombing stops and all this destruction. I mean, who's going to clean up after this? I mean, is the Russian army going to clean up after this? What a mess. So the Lover's card is coming up, and you think the Lover's card, you know, I must have a girlfriend. No, it's about two forces coming together and working out. It could be a duality. It could also be working on something, you know, bringing two people together. So I think right now, at this point in time, it's March 10th. March 10th, right? Yeah, March 11th, 10th? 11th, 10th, March 10th. Maybe behind the scenes there's some concerns. There's some tower moment for him. And there's judgment going on both sides. And he comes up with a plan. He does work with somebody. Could be, I would think Zelensky. He's going to work with Zelensky on something. I don't know. So, yeah. Okay. So that's my brief readings on those three people that we see and hear about. The other thing I wanted to talk about, this is my dilettante video, 19 minutes. So I'm going to talk about a lot of different things. The war, the thing with the Ukraine has been on my mind a lot. The other thing is I want to just bring forward, we rearranged this room. You can't see it. We always had it in the living room, but now we're in a den. And Christopher, my boyfriend, who's a wonderful man, he said he just did that. He buys me flowers all the time, which is so sweet, and they're beautiful flowers. And they last actually quite long. I get them and I put the stuff in it, and then I cut them down again and I put them in water again with a little aspirin. They last easily 2 weeks, so that's nice. But then afterwards, I before they start looking too terribly bad, I dry them. And here's, I don't know what these are. Well, these are roses. This rose started drying. This retained a lot of its original color. So isn't that pretty? And then these I just took out of the water. They were turning brown, but I love them. Aren't they beautiful? They're sort of haunting. So I have those, and I have these, and I don't know what these are. These were almost dry when I got them. I think maybe they were dried flowers when they put them in the thing. So I'm just keeping track of all my dried flowers that were giving. And then I have this little ikebana, and I've been putting things that don't have a long stem. I put them in here to see how they'll dry. And this color, these purple ones, I'm not sure what they are. They're retaining the color beautifully. I just put these in today. I'm not sure how they're going to dry, but we'll check on those, and we'll check on those as time marches on. This one here is, you can see how it's still gooey kind of, and it is kind of losing its color. So I'm not sure how these will dry, but I have great hope. Great hope on that. Okay, so I covered that. My last topic will be my Vella topic, which I wasn't going to talk more about Vella, but here I am talking about Vella. Well, it's been a couple months since I've talked about Vella. So Vella, as you know, is the place where you submit it's writing a serial in real time. You put it up on Vella, which is a part of KDP, which is part of Amazon. And I was going great guns through September. I started late August. I did August, all of September, all of October, all of November, and then I started petering out in December with the holidays, and well, life gets in the way. So then, so I was wondering, and I also finished one of the stories, Barden Digby Balls, and I decided to take it off the site because I was going to make it into a poem. I was going to make a short story into a poem. And I was going to bring the book here, but I didn't. There's a movie called Song of Lunch, and it's by Christopher, well, it was taken from a book of poetry by Christopher Reed, and it's a great movie. And after I saw that movie, it reminded me of my story in a sense. I thought my story could translate well into a poem, which I don't write. So I started formatting it into a poem, and it doesn't have the poetry aspect, which is a problem. It's more of a narrative. I mean, you can take a narrative and you can make it look like a poem, but there's more to it than just making it look like a poem. I found that out as I tried to rework Barden Digby Falls. So that was kind of put on hold. Well, I was working on that, and then I was working on other things we talked about here with synchronicity and all that, so I got tied up with that. So I kind of let that slide. It was Christmas, it was the holidays, and then I started redoing the rooms in the house. And I did okay in December. I had some views, and I did publish a few things, so I did okay in December. It wasn't like I had been doing. And then in January, when did I get the results for that? January was February. I don't know how I did in January, but it went down significantly, naturally. February I haven't gotten, so that was $10. And so I didn't do anything. I didn't get any hits. No one looked at my stuff. I didn't promote it. I got like $10. Well, $10 for nothing, I'll take it. And then for January, no, that was January. For February, I am getting confused now. Oh, I haven't heard from February. I haven't heard about February yet. Those statements come out the third week in March. Now in February I had a review and I had some views, so I suspect maybe I'll do okay. And now in March I am loading up again. I'm loading up one of the novels, the Howie in Love, and I hope to load up some more with The Cure. And I'm not finished with the short story that I want to finish. I got sidetracked with the tense in the story. Just like, I didn't know what tense I was in. I was changing tenses. Why? I don't know. So I'm not sure about how it's going to go in February, but I'm hoping I'll get a little bit more than $10, but I don't care. $10 is $10. So I'm sort of curious to see if things, once you slow down, if you can then jump in again and go back up again. I think it's a great idea. I mean, because you're getting money, it supports you if you want to write a book and write as you go. So that's my Vella experience for now. More to come on that as time goes on. So once again, I will be putting a link to her website, her Etsy store. It's you can buy. There's other paintings there as well, and you're getting the print and it's downloaded. So there's no postage or waiting. You get it immediately. I really like this, and it was inspiration for my other picture. So. In doing this picture, the picture I just did, I learned a lot from doing this picture because when I used to make my cats before, I didn't have those dotty things, the things that they use for stones. You can put dots on. I used to do dots by hand, like with the back of a brush. So this was really fun to use these pens that are very fine point and easy to do my little circles and swirls and all that stuff. And that's all I gotta say. Christopher, do you have anything to say?
No.
You want to talk about your feelings?
No.
I guess that's a no. 2 no's. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Hang in there. This is just everything's so tedious with all these things that are going on in the world. But keep the faith. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.